Welcome back, humans. It's Saturday, and I'm back with another end of the week vent session. And before I get started, can you smash that like button, hit that subscription, and turn on those notifications? I drop an episode every Wednesday and Saturday. And with that said, let's get it on. I'm ready to vent. Tonight is awesome fucking stacked up, loaded up UFC fight card tonight. I think it's UFC 259. It is loaded up. I don't even know all the prelim guys' names, but they're all like heavy hitters. Everybody that's fighting, man. This is gonna be a great fight. If y'all ain't watching it or you ain't got nothing to do tonight, better tune into this because it's gonna be some good fighting. It's gonna be some non-stop action. People are gonna be getting put out tonight. I guarantee it. I guarantee people getting nated. Nate Robinson and shit. They'll be getting nated. And anyways, like they got the main fight card is awesome. They got this guy Peter Yan. I think that's how you say his name, Peter Yan. And then I don't know how you say his name, Ali Jermaine Sterling. They're like in one of the co-main events. And then you got Amanda Nunes coming in. She's coming in there to fucking throw down again, like you know how she always does, against Megan Anderson. And I didn't know too much about Megan Anderson, so I was watching some of her highlights earlier today. And man, she looks like a big girl, like not like in a disrespectful way, like natural big. You know what I'm saying? Like she's tall, but she's got she looks like a natural mass that makes her like whatever her weight is. Looks like she probably walks around like that. You know what I mean? And same with Nunez, she looks like she walks around at her weight. So this ought to be a good, interesting fight because they can bang. You know what I'm saying? And that girl looks like she's got a decent, well-rounded ground game. So could be pretty good, man, if that girl can pull anything off. But we'll see what happens because Nunez seems to bring the A game a lot. So this girl better bring it. This ought to be a good fight. And same with the Peter Yan fight against Sterling. I didn't know too much about them guys. Well, I did see Peter Yan a couple times, but I started watching some of their highlights. It was like that hype up trailer type for all the fights. And man, dude, those guys look like some big boys. So that's going to be an interesting fight. And then the main event is, I think, how do you say his name? Adesanya, Israel Adesanya. And against Jan Blachowicz. And that looks like it's going to be a good fight, man. Israel, man, that guy can throw down, dude. Man, he's coming out. He's a big dude coming up. I think he's like 20-0. And, man, he's banging and putting dudes' lights out. He's putting in work. He's getting a lot of work lately. And he's coming up in the ranks. And that dude's making noise right now, dude. This is like he's making noise. And people are starting to listen because you ain't got no choice. Because he's killing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, so I don't want to keep saying it if I'm saying it wrong. But, man, that guy can bang out there in the UFC, man. And that's tonight. And that's going to be some good fights. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And back into boxing, they already said Canelo's already got a fight scheduled for May 8th against Billy Joe Saunders. And that fight ought to be pretty interesting. That guy's kind of like similar weight to him. And he's a natural weight of the weight, he's been fighting at. So this ought to be an interesting fight. Looks like a guy that can probably, tank more punches. Canelo probably might still win, but it might be a little more entertaining. You know what I'm saying? I thought the fights with him and that Golovkin guy were really entertaining because it was like Gennady Golovkin was taking his punches and giving him punches. Those guys were like, those guys were dropping bombs on each other like both fights. And they were just entertaining, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm not saying this guy's going to do that kind of show, but he's probably going to be more well-equipped than his last opponents, to handle. It might, handle the fight. It might be more entertaining anyways. At least in my opinion, I think it will be. I think that guy can throw down a little bit. A little tad or so. So now they were talking about Ryan Garcia was going to get the chance to fight Pacquiao, and I was like, no, he won't. He'll get put to sleep. So then it came out that fight was never going to happen because nobody had no deal. And it was just talk it was just people trying to hype shit up that wasn't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Just talking, they were like trolling or whatever, I guess you could say. And So that's not happening. But what I did hear is happening is or I don't know if it's for sure happening, but I hear it's like actually in the works and talking is Pacquiao versus Mikey Garcia. And that'll be a really good fight, man, because, man, that'll be a good fight. I would still pick Pacquiao to win the fight, but, man, that'll be an interesting fight. And I hear that one's in the works right now, and that would be an awesome, entertaining one. And I would like to see it. And like I said, if he fought Garcia, he'd be knocking him out. And I hear Devin Haney has been thrown around. I think he might get a shot to fight Davis. And like I said, I want to see him fight against Ryan Garcia. In my opinion, I want to see him fight against these big dogs. You know what I'm saying? Because that guy, like I said, the Campbell guy was a decent seasoned fighter, and he touched his chin there. He touched that chin. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see other people, those skilled fighters that can do it. See how he handles it. We'll see how he handles it. Anyways, and then they're throwing around Teofimo Lopez with Tank Davis, and they're throwing all these guys around. Like, well, I just hope somebody gets the fight because those guys are all some young guys in their prime, and I want to see these guys, and they're all big, heavy punchers, and I want to just see these guys fight already and get it over with because I'm super anxious to see it, And anyways, that was my little. I wanted to get that little sports fin out of the way there. I wanted to get that out of the way so I could get it going. And I got a few interesting topics tonight. I got some more little conspiratorial subjects. I was searching around and had fun and found some more conspiracy kind of things. I found some sports conspiracies today. Being that we were on the sports vent, I figured I would segue into some sports conspiracies. And I was searching around and found some that were pretty damn interesting, and a lot of people heard of. Any sports fans out there and sports buffs that would know some historical things in the past that happened that were controversial, y'all might recognize some of these things, So let me bring them on. Let me get them going. Anyways, Cal Ripken, famous baseball player, Hall of Famer, had a win streak going, like a game streak. He had like some record. I think it was like most games attended or most games something. And he was just like, it was some kind of game streak. And he had a record going. And apparently, in this game, they didn't think he was going to show up. So his record was at stake. Like, they're going to ruin this record. It's going to be over. Excuse me. So this baseball player, was supposed to, hold his responsibility. He didn't tell anybody he was sick or injured or anything like that. He just didn't show up. And they're all like wondering, where's this dude at? What's going on? He's fucking up his history right now. His legacy is at stake. Where the hell is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Where's he at? So comes to be that, well, this is the rumor, this is the conspiracy part of it, that was good friends with Kevin Costner. He's good friends with Kevin Costner, the actor. You know what I'm saying? Robin Hood and, Tin Cup, all those movies. You know what I'm saying? And that he went home before the game or the day of the game and caught Kevin Costner, which was his friend, his homie. They were supposedly really close. Caught him sleeping with his wife. Caught him in the room naked, in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like the fucking Shaggy song. And I caught him in the bedroom, and he didn't say it wasn't him, or whatever. But that was what the conspiracy was. So he didn't make the game because him and Kevin Costner were fighting. And so the team didn't want his record to be messed up, and they didn't really know that he was fighting Kevin Costner naked at his house because he was all up in his lady and all that stuff. So while he was fighting a naked Kevin Costner, I guess the people at the stadium faked a power outage. Yes, humans. So they faked a power outage. This is what the conspiracy is. Like what the rumor is that it wasn't on purpose, and so he could keep his record because he was at home trying to fight a naked Kevin Costner at his house. He had Kevin Costner all Bull Durhamed out over at his crib. He was all Bill Durhamed. Oh, man. That's pretty crazy. And he was his friend. I guess they were really close. I guess they were, they were really good friends, according to the story, that they were close. So, and that's what happened. My man caught him all Bull Durham's up in there. You know what I'm saying? He went all Mad Maxed. It's interesting. It's messed up. He went all Robin Hood and got a ball up in there from his homie. While his homie was making history in baseball. Damn shame. So that was that conspiracy in sports. And I have another one. It was against the Lakers and the Sacramento Kings. And this was in 2002. A lot of people remember this game. You know, a lot of NBA fans remember this game too. I believe the Lakers were down 3-2 in the series. I think Sacramento had a 3-2 lead in the game, in the whole series. They could have eliminated the Lakers. And they were down like almost 20 points, dude. And I can remember this game was decided like at the free throw line. It was like they were calling so many fucking fouls. And like every Laker just kept shooting free throws and free throws and free throws until they were back in the game. And it was bananas, and the Lakers got to win the game. And it was that shady ref too, that ref that how do you say his name? Dungy or Dunaghy? The one that got busted for like fixing games and shit like that because he was gambling on games and worked with some criminals or whatever, and they were, you know, doing back bets, and he was keeping like shaving points out of games and shit. It was that guy was reffing that game, and this whole game was like determined like all these free throws. I want to say it was like 18 points or 20-point lead diminished in like moments because these guys was just blowing that whistle, and the Lakers ended up coming back and winning, ended up winning that series and going to the championship. And I don't remember if they won that year, but I remember they went to the title. It's kind of crazy when you think about that. They say that referee had a lot of the effect of the outcome of a lot of games. And there was a time where Rasheed Wallace, he was on the Pistons our championship year. He was also on the Portland Trailblazers. And I guess during one of those games, one of those things happened with that referee. And he felt like the referee was being shady. So the rumor on that was, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that he waited for that referee out in the parking lot and went to go, you know, beat his ass or something like that for messing up the game, you know. And it was that referee that was actually in trouble, actually got in trouble for, you know, cheating games. And I was like, dang, dude, I wonder if that's true. But I guess Rasheed Wallace went after his ass, according to one of those stories. And I guess this guy was known for doing that to games. Affected a lot of NBA games. And that's crazy. They even tried to say that they were like, there was even like conspiracies about fixing like the drafts. Like the one that like they fixed the draft for the New York Knicks to get Patrick Ewing. And when LeBron went to Miami, they say that the NBA rigged the draft so the Cavaliers could get Kyrie Irving. And there was all these crazy ones going on, you know, just like, it was just bananas. Like, the stories, and you know, there was one about Pete Rose that he knew he was going to get back, that he signed a deal, you know, with the league that, you know, knowing he was going to get reinstated, that he would take this whole, you know, suspension or banning of baseball. But that Lakers one was wild, man, because, you know, all these ones start coming out and you wonder if they're true or not. But there's so many, you know, you can go either way with any of these stories, any of these outrageous conspiracies, because people have so much they can create or not create or whatever. You got so much knowledge that pulls you in both directions. Like I said, you don't know which way you want to go. You never know which way you want to go. It's like, damn it, you know, leave me alone for a minute. You know, let me just think like this for a little bit, just for today. You know, and then we can come back and you can bother me with this one. But yeah, so that was the Lakers one about the Game 6 of the 2002 Western Conference Finals. And the shady-ass ref affected the outcome. You know how many gamblers probably cleaned up on that? Or how many dudes got their legs broke that got screwed on that? Like, you know what I'm saying? People's days was made and broke on that same day. On this, because of this referee. You know, like you broke my day, or you ruined my day, or you fucking made my day. And all that shit happened, you know what I'm saying? Lives was lost. Pain was made. Families was broken apart because people put houses on the line. Some people celebrated with champagne, and some people went on vacation with their payouts, and all that stuff happened on this day because of this referee. Goodness gracious. I mean, I could go on and on. No, I'm just kidding. all those effects. And no Mandela's. Not Mandela's effects. Mandela's. All right. So here's another one from that involves the great Muhammad Ali. And a lot of people talk about the 1965, I believe it was the rematch with him and Sonny Liston. I don't know if it was a rematch, but I know there was a fight with him and Sonny Liston. And a lot of people suspect that there was the fight ended like in a minute 44 seconds, I believe, in the first round, and everybody was speculating that Sonny Liston took a dive because when he fell, everybody says they never saw the punch, and so that's what they were calling the Phantom Punch, and they were saying it was like a big old thing in boxing, dude. If you guys look it up, you could see the fight, and it's just wild, dude. You never see the punch and drops him, and everybody says that it doesn't even look like Ali even threw the punch, unless he threw a punch that was so fast. You know what I'm saying? Like when we were kids and people used to play that trick on you, you'd be like, "You want to see the fastest punch ever?" And you'd be like, "Yeah," and you wouldn't move, and you'd be like, "You want to see it again?" Like something like that happened. And I know Muhammad Ali was fast, but I don't think he was that fast then during that rematch. And so that was the conspiracy going on, that they paid him to take that dive. Like he got a really significant amount of money for losing that match. But I'm saying, if you're going to lose a match or whatever on purpose, maybe you would like want to be more convincing. Wait for the punch to come. Or don't get so excited because you knew a punch was coming and you already fell. Like them old school movies when you would see like an old fight scene and the guy's getting punched in the face, but the camera clicked over too quick during editing, and you would already see the blood on the guy's nose. You know what I'm talking about, like those old '90s action films. Like the man would be going to punch, and when they head snaps back or when they turn, and you would see the injury already there. Like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? They didn't catch that in editing. But that's just messed up, man. If he took a dive, you know. Sonny Liston, one of those greats, But then, maybe that was like starting like the downfall of sports when people started taking the gambling started taking over and started controlling them. You know what I mean? Like it started getting more obvious. Dudes taking dives. Like you'll see them football games where the dudes run out of timeouts and the guy's got a faking injury. Like I was watching, I think it was the New York Giants maybe, and it was a playoff game. I think it might have been a playoff game, and the guys was out of timeouts, and they needed to stop the clock, and both guys fell at the same time. They both fell with the same leg injury. They were just like, ow, ow, my leg, my leg. And then the other guy got back up. Oh, it's him. He could do it then. And he just got up, and it's all on like live TV. They both fell. Like, oh, okay, you're the hurt guy. So the other guy gave in and got back up and just walked to the sideline and let his friend be hit, but let his friend be hurt. That was like I don't know if it was Kevin Hart or somebody said they had like somebody fake fainted. One of their relatives would fake faint and peek to see if they were still out. They'd be like this and still peek. That would be the same thing as that. You know what I'm saying? That is hilarious. That is hilarious, man. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Okay, so I got another one, and this one involves the great Michael Jordan, the great MJ, the GOAT. Or, now everybody's debating if he's not, but whatever, the GOAT, the Jordan, Michael Jordan. So they were saying that this is the conspiracy I found on this one. They were saying that his first retirement or his retirement was a secret suspension. They tried to say his retirement was a secret suspension because like months before he retired, he supposedly was, well, no, he wasn't. It was all over the news. He was going under investigation for like gambling, like, and they wondered if he was gambling on his own NBA games, like doing that Pete Rose shit. And it was saying that he was gambling like big money on golf games and all kinds of stuff like that. So he was under this big investigation, and then like months later, he announced his retirement and he went to baseball. So what if he? So the conspiracy was that he worked out a deal with the NBA, and they wanted to suspend him. So he said he would retire, and so, and then he come back to basketball, and that was like the conspiracy that it was like a secret suspension under the table, but the media got it as he retired and went to baseball. But I got an even creepier one. You know what I'm saying? Like, this involves his dad's death. his father's death. I guess one of the championships. I guess his dad went missing, and they found him in a burned building or a burned abandoned house or something like that. And somebody I think they stole his championship ring or something crazy like that. Rest in peace. Stuff like everything. And I guess what I've been hearing when you see all these new interviews on TV now, like you can see all these interviews on like YouTube or TV streaming services where they interview all these mobsters and stuff like that, these gangsters, and these guys are all now they're glorifying all these guys, so they're putting them in all these interviews. Guys are making a killing in all these interviews, talking about all their crimes, and they're all and they're all proud about it. Most of them. So he was one of the gangsters on there. I'm not going to say his name. He was saying that he knew about Jordan gambling, and that that was who he was involved with when his father got murdered. That I guess he lost. I don't know if he lost a bet with some mobsters or he won a bet with some mobsters. Excuse me. And that was them retaliation. That was their retaliation for them losing or winning. I don't know what they did. Either he owed them money and they killed his dad, or he won and they felt embarrassed and they killed his dad and took the ring or something like that. And so that's what this one gangster was saying, that Jordan was involved in a big bet with some bad dudes. And I was like, man, if that's true, that's crazy. But that's a crazy ass sports conspiracy. You know what I mean? Like, that's craziness, because he was in trouble with all that gambling, which ties it into the gambling. If you think about it, the mobster said he was in, like, the investigation was all about him gambling, so it forced the retirement. He comes back. Not only does he win a championship, he won a championship on Father's Day. That would be a lot of pressure to come back, a reminder of what happened, because if it did happen like that, and you see him crying all over the court, man, it probably could have been, there was some truth to it or not. I don't know, no offense to the family or anything. I'm just saying it's an interesting conspiracy with all, those connections, those pieces kind of fit together pretty close, if you think about it. So, yeah, so they were saying that he had involvement with mobsters and a crime family. And I don't know if he either won the bet and they were upset about it and that was their retaliation, or I don't know if he lost the bet and didn't pay on time. I'm sure he had the money to pay, or maybe he didn't pay on time. So this guy was saying, this former mafia member was describing the family he worked for and all that, like I said. And he said that that Jordan was making big bets with some bad dudes. And he believes that was his father's death and everything was involved, all in the same. So that's just wild, man. That's deep. That gets deep, man, in all those sports conspiracies. And you see, like, where LeBron James was in those playoff games, and everybody, would always say he's not like Jordan because he doesn't take the last shot, or Kobe would take the last shot, or Jordan would take the last shot. You know what I'm saying? Or Durant, and them guys would do the thing. And so then people were trying to say too that when they would see LeBron, not take the last shot and pass to somebody, they'd miss and they lose. People were trying to say LeBron was doing that stuff. Sometimes people just make those decisions in a game, but man, if you lost a family member due to gambling, I'm sure it happens in real life all the time. But and you're a professional athlete and that happened in those circumstances, that's just wild. Then you would know you got a problem. I hope you get help if you lost your father from gambling. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. That's not like just losing money, dude. Like, fuck, you just lost a human in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, whew. Craziness. Excuse me. It's just crazy. With all those weird conspiracies, So being with these conspiracies, I'm going to switch off the sports ones, but I did find this other weird one. And I was watching it was like a Vice special. And it really caught my attention, man. This was really weird because you hear about a lot of people freaking out or being called crazy, or being called insane or being called paranoid or like all of it, or bipolars or whatever kind of medical terms you want to throw at them, over some of these kind of, because some of this thing I'm about to talk about. It's wild, man. I never heard of it. Like I've seen what they're talking about, but I never knew this was a the title that it has on it, you know? So it's called gang stalking. Gang stalking. It's just weird, man. Now, gang stalking isn't like, the Bloods and Crips, uh, you know, following you home from the grocery store and shit. Telling you to wear red or blue. You're gonna put this bandana on. It's not that. Okay, it ain't them. But it is. I guess it's a organized form of like surveillance and harassment. Excuse me. And it's like to force some intimidation on people, harass people, get invasion of your privacy, and and also at the same time, it's supposed to make you go crazy at the same time and make you look like some crazy loony. All right. So even meant like what I was reading about this, like after I watched this episode, I read some things about it, and I decided to go down a little rabbit hole and started reading a bunch of crap on it. Some of the medical experts were even like declaring this like a state of like paranoia and like or delusional paranoia, like a form of delusional paranoia. And if this stuff is really happening to people, like, and if it isn't like something you're hallucinating or something you're creating against yourself, I mean, this is why this would be this would open up a whole nother like can of worms when it came to like Big Brothers watching type shit, because so supposedly this stuff, like I said, it's organized surveillance or harassment. So these people are claiming that they think that someone is like following them or messing with them in a certain way that were like just enough to like fuck with your head, just to do a little like little thing, like come around, like somebody gets in your house and they move things around or something like that, or you come home and your furniture is moved or something's just not the same, and you're noticing these different changes or things like that. So it happened to all these people. They were noticing these things happen, like this woman, this one person who claims she thinks she was this community stalking, gang stalking, all these, that form of this thing was happening to her. She said she started coming home, and she came home one day and stuff would be like moved around and different shit. So then she started like paying attention a little more. She came home and all her windows were open to the same exact space. She had them all closed and locked when she left, but when she came back, they were all open to the same height. And then she went into her room and her drawers were all looked like they were partially opened. And it was interesting. So where she got to the point where she left her phone at the house and left the audio recording, and you could hear people walking around her house. So some people might be really getting fucked with. You know what I'm saying? This could be some weird type stuff going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like she heard like footsteps and would sound like whispers and shit like that on this audio of people walking through her house when she was not home. And there was another individual who claims they claim that you being followed, and they claim that they would hear helicopters over their houses, airplanes, and they're like surveillance cities at like some random moment. At any given time, they would just like have a plane fly over, some helicopters, and just monitor everybody's stuff and record everything you're doing at any given time, just like as a program of some sort. So this one individual, this gentleman, he claims he was being followed and did all the turns and his cars were following him. And this is where it gets kind of creepy to me. This is where I think like maybe something's happening to certain people. I don't know. So you know what I'm saying? So because it involves like some people say it involves like they think it involves religion or something. That's where it gets all like conspiratorial and they throw the conspiracy now. It's like, oh, here we go. So this guy's saying he's being followed, and he says he believes it was police officers and stuff like that, because he said he would come to his house and see these black unmarked SUVs by his house driving through like down their streets real slow, police cars driving through their neighborhoods real slow, and not just like watching his individual house. He thinks they were doing like the neighborhood, but he was just the one paying attention. So then the attention got brought on him because he was recognizing, almost like They Live, like almost like that like They Live movie. Like we got somebody that's got some that can see some shit, you know what I mean? And they don't realize. So they think when they recognize something like that now they're starting to watch them individually. Now they feel targeted. You know what I'm saying? Now they're a targeted individual. Now they're like, now you're like under the magnifying glass. We're coming at you now. So this is what they're saying is happening to them. So this man is saying he noticed these unmarked SUVs, police cars driving real slow through the neighborhoods, and now they've started bringing a little extra attention to him. Now he's noticing helicopters and like small Cessna planes flying over their neighborhood and houses, and he's starting to get like a little scared. Excuse me. So now he's on the freeway and he thinks these cars still follow him, and he wants to see if these people are for real. So he actually pulls over on a freeway during like a busiest time, probably a rush hour. I don't know, because it's not here, it's another time. So during a rush hour on the freeway, pulls over on the side and rushes at these cars that he thinks are following them, spray paints on their cars, pepper sprayed the drivers, and tried to physically assault them and like break a car window, kick their heart, break their mirrors off, break headlights and taillights and shit like that. And they would not call the police on him. He said, I was trying to get them to call the police to see if these people were following me or messing with me, and they would never call the police. Not one cop came after him after he would attack these people. So I'm like, damn, what if they were following him, man? Like that gets you all creeped out, like what if he had something there? You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, so he said they would never call the police on him, and he would assault these people and pepper spray them. Like he pepper sprayed these people on the freeway, and they didn't call the police on him. He's pulled over on the road, broke their cars up, like Michael Jackson in that one video, like just broke their shit up, and they fucking didn't call the police on him. Probably because they didn't want to blow their cover. Like, what if they were following him, dude? What if there was some creepy shit happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if it was that like Adjustment Bureau movie? You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want you to do that shit. And these guys in the shadows kind of dressed in trench coats and like Dick Tracy hats, in them outfits. And they pop out of the shadows to make sure you get on the right path of what this book says you're supposed to do. And if you start breaking that path, people start popping around, So this story gets even weirder with this gentleman here. So he not only that, okay, so he notices, all this crap. And now he can't get, these people don't call the police on him, all right? He attacks them, assaulted them, smashes their car up, right? Goes crazy on them. Goes all like riot on his ass. You know what I'm saying? So he gets over there, nobody calls the cops. So he thinks it's weird as hell. So he goes to the police station, puts his ID on a table, and says, are people following me? And why are you guys following me? Is there a reason I'm being followed? And the police officer's like, should we be following you? And they started playing all dumb on his ass, like doing that kind of shit. And he's like, don't play like that with me, this and that. And they were like, whatever, you're crazy. They're trying to make him seem like he was crazy. So now he leaves the police station, and then he's being followed again. So he wants to get away from these people. Now he's thinking, something like maybe his life's in danger or something like that, right? So he makes these evasive turns. It doesn't seem to work out. So he's going to go into a public place where he's going to feel safe, right? And so he pulls into this place, and he sees this parking lot. There's a traffic light right ahead. So he's at the red light, sees the parking lot he's going to enter. And before, he said the parking lot was empty, and all of a sudden he's pulling in, and all these cars fill the parking lot really quick. And he says it's full of people, and all these people walk out holding hands, and that for some weird reason, they were all couples. He said they were all couples, and they were holding hands, and they all walked in front of him. He said it seemed like they were all like fake people trying to act normal. And I'm like, whoa. So now it's almost like he's talking like some Matrix type shit. Like he was fucking with the simulation. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, this dude was fucking with the simulation all of a sudden, and the programmers or the agents, like from the Matrix, were like shooting shit at him to like, divert him to go this way and go that way. Like, I was like, man, that's crazy as hell, man. The way he was describing it, he said it seemed like people were all trying to act normal in front of him as that parking lot that was empty just in seconds just filled up just before he pulled in there, and they were like slowing him down in front of the street, all that, like kind of like in that movie, like I said, and even like Jim Carrey's Truman Show, man. Like they kept bumping into us, stall you out, so they can get what they had to get going. That's creepy. That's creepy, man. So they make you feel like you're being stalked and watched, and you're getting all paranoid. You know what I'm saying? I think Ashley Judd was in a movie called Bug. It was kind of something similar to that. You know what I mean? And man, so if that stuff was really happening and to make you think you're crazy, people would just lock you up, or your friends, you would lose your friends and family. You get separated from people because of that, because of these people fucking with you. And they say it's like a group of people. It's not just one person, and they do it all digitally. And this one woman, like I said, that she said she was had her house messed with and shit like that, her windows, and she recorded audio of people inside of her house rambling around. And she ended up finding a camera in her son's bedroom. And she found holes drilled in vents, and she could hear a drill in one of the audio recordings. And it was just weird and wild shit going on, man. So she ended up like changing locks, doing all this stuff for security, and who knows what's happening now because I haven't seen no update on her and anything. I hope she's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because that's crazy, yo. That's just crazy. It is. But that's an interesting one. I was real interested in that. That gang stalking, community stalking. Those were the two of the terms they used. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's just crazy, dude. That's some scary stuff when you think about it, man. Like who's watching who, and maybe that happens to the people with the conspiracy theories. Some of those outrageous ones. You know what I'm saying? They probably get enveloped with it, and they maybe think somebody's following them and all that kind of stuff. Who knows? But it was definitely a fun one. But man, oh man. So like I told you before, I think the hip hop's a little different now. It's not, maybe not my thing because I'm an older guy or whatever, an older gentleman. But I do like some of it, and I don't like some of it at the same time. But what I did think, being that this is cancel culture, some of these guys, like I told you, I got mad at that one rapper that talked about when every rapper used to come to the studio. I was a rapper back in the day. I was in a band for a long time when I was younger. Got some old videos on my playlist if you want to look at them. I was a youngster back then. It was back in the day. And so anyways, when I was a kid, even to now, some of the people I know now, you had to bring a hot 16. You had to bring 16 bars. You had to bring a hot verse. You know what I'm saying? Minimum. And when I heard that dude say, oh, we do 4 bars a night at the studio, 4 bars a night all night. I'm like, what the 4 bars at a time? Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. 4 bars. So, I know the game's changed, like I said. And the engineer for that project probably made a buttload of money for that dude paying you by the hour, hopefully, or the block. That was probably an expensive block. And I hope you got paid for that dude with that fucking 4 bars. 4 bars at a time. Shit. That just still bugs me, man. That is, man, dude, 4 bars at a time. That was probably a long recording night. Bet. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, let me get on with this. So what I did, being that these people having fun with their little cancel culture stuff and all that stuff going on, the cancelers, I had fun and found some rap lyrics that I bet you rappers wish they didn't exist in right now, with these times. So I thought I'd have fun. And then I found a list of some of these rap lyrics that I bet you these guys wish weren't around with the times we're having right now. People started playing these songs. So here we go. This one is from Rick Ross. Just remember, these were not like the newest songs. Maybe they are new, but they're not that new. So here's some controversial rap lyrics that they probably wish now don't exist, or they probably are hoping nobody finds these because they'll probably be in some shit, or this song will be taken down. So here's some right now. Put Molly all in her champagne. She ain't even know it. I took her home and I enjoyed that. She ain't even know it. So basically, he roofied her, Bill Cosby styled, supposedly Bill Cosby style. You know what I'm saying? Supposedly with the pudding cup. No, I'm just kidding. So this dude just literally said it. He puts a drug in her drink, and she don't even know. Came home and enjoyed it. Pretty much had sex with her, and she didn't even know. And this rapper was Rick Ross. Mr. Rick Ross. Every day I'm hustling. No, Mr. I used to be a prison guard. I think they said he was a prison guard or some shit. And then he became like a gangster rapper. I wonder if he rapped about all the dudes he had to babysit at the prison. You know what I'm saying? And that's like he just copied them. You know what I'm saying? Boss. And you know what I'm saying? But yeah, apparently this was one of his lyrics that he probably doesn't want to be coming out. Put Molly on her champagne. She ain't even know it. I took her home and I enjoyed that and she ain't even know it. Rick Ross. How you like that one? All right. Excuse me. Here's another one from Lil Wayne. This one comes from Lil Wayne, who's awesome, pretty good MC. But I bet you he probably don't even care. But he says, "Beat that pussy up like Emmett Till." I'll leave that one alone. But he said he wants to beat it up like Emmett Till. I know I said I would leave it alone, and I should have just left it alone. But I did say it again. Lil Wayne. Let me get on to the next one. Okay. Now this one, it gets a little crazier here. A little more on the holy shit, somebody better arrest this shit. All right. Because if she's expecting, I'm sorry, I got to do it the way they say it in the song. I won't do it all properly. Not that I speak all proper with my swearing ass. Because if she expecting, I can satisfy and at the same time give her kid a pacifier. And I love it when I bust that old nut because I know that her baby's just going to lick it up. By Pimp C. Wow. Wow, humans. That's kind of gross. So if she's expecting she's pregnant, this dude's going to give the baby a pacifier with his penis, and that the baby's going to lick up the aftermath. That's probably better not be on the Spotify Top 25. That better not be on that playlist. No. I mean, who knows? You know that'd be crazy if you're at the party and somebody rapping the lyrics. And they'd be like, dude, you know what I'm saying? She's going, almost satisfied. And all of a sudden the baby part came. And then people are paying attention like, what did he just say? And like, hey, man, it's in a song. You know what I'm saying? Leave me alone. Because if she expecting, I can satisfy and at the same time give a baby or give her kid a pacifier. And I love it when I bust that old nut because I know that her baby's going to lick it up. Pimp C. Let's continue, humans. Oh, and it gets better. No, it doesn't. It gets better. I mean, for entertainment purposes, it gets better. Okay, here we go. When the relay starts, I'm a runaway slave master. Iggy Azalea. And now I featured her in that reaction I did back on that Vent reaction, where she was like, it was like the worst freestylers, and you two fuck with me because of the audio clips. I must have played out too long of the clip size or some shit. But yeah, this is one of her lyrics that I bet she probably wishes that people ain't gonna pull out of the woodworks. When the relay starts, I'm a runaway slave master. Iggy Azalea. Damn. I'll continue. Okay, here we go. One of these artists seems to make a pretty catchy song that everybody liked for a long time. One of those one-hit wonders. Okay, this one's got a lot of curse words, so beware. Warning! I'm going to swear a lot. Like what's new? It says, "Fuck the FBI and fuck all the army troops." I don't agree with this. You know this. I support and love all my troops. Thank you for all your support and all your protection and all that you do. Fighting for what, bitch? Be your own man. By Soulja Boy. This was Soulja Boy, not him, not me. Soulja Boy said this. F the FBI. He said F the troops. Not me. I support all the troops. He said, fighting for what, bitch? Be your own man. Soulja Boy. That's that dude that did the, whatever that fucking song he did. I forget it. Do the Soulja Boy song. Okay, this one's from one of the legends. Goes by the name of LL Cool J. And he says, if you don't judge my gold chains, I'll forget the iron chains. LL Cool J. LL Cool J says, if you don't judge my gold chains, I'll forget about the iron chains. Okay, then. Here we go. this rap lyric is a little out of hand, like all the others have been. So this one says, rape a pregnant bitch, tell my friends I had a threesome. And this was by the rapper who goes by the name of Tyler, the Creator. Whoa there, buddy. That was a little crazy there, too. I bet I wonder if you're one of the ones that don't care or whatever. But if these pop up, these people might want to try to cancel your ass. They're trying to cancel like Looney Tune characters now. And Dr. Seuss and shit. Like people that ain't even around to defend themselves when that stuff was allowed to be said back then. Or whatever. But this guy says, rape a pregnant bitch and tell my friends they had a threesome. Damn, Tyler Creator. Oh, man. Okay. This rap lyric says, I'll rape your child. They won't make the trial. And that was by the rapper that goes by the name of Cameron. Cameron. He's the one that sings that, and we gonna have fun tonight. He's in a song with those guys. It wasn't just him, but it was all those dudes together. He says, I'll rape your child and they won't make the trial. That was one of his crazy rap lyrics. Let's see. So, here's some other, like, just, not that, I mean, they're controversial, but these ones also suck. So, you all remember that song by, what's his name? Mims, I think his name was. He did that hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. I thought that was a funny lyric. He got all this fame from saying, I'm hot because I'm fly. You're hot. You ain't because you not. Like, how creative a lyric was that? I thought that was just a weak-ass lyric. You know what I'm saying? And when MC Hammer was out, I was a big fan of him when I was a young kid. And he came out. Then as he got older, he kept trying to, like, make some music. And he came out with this one album. And he had a song in there like, pumps in the bump. Pumps in the bump. Everybody's like, what the hell does that mean? And then there was some weird-ass lyrics in there. And a bunch of rappers were doing it when they were rapping back around this time, but like they were better MCs, like lyrically. And like I said, I am a fan of Hammer and all that, but it was like I don't know, I kind of felt like that wasn't his lane with the type of song it was, I guess. So it was during this Pumps in the Bump song, which meant he liked thick women, right? Who don't? Says, I don't like 'em figgity fat. I like 'em stiggity stacked. You wiggity wiggity whack if you ain't got biggity back. So there was too many back then when this song came out. There was just too many iggity in all the songs. Everybody was just be spiggities, iggities, and that's what I mean. Like if you were a good MC, it sounded you could do it. When like Big Pun did his, little littly. You know what I'm saying? Didn't do diddly, that shit. But there was just too many. This was just too many wiggities and spiggities things going on there. So I had to bring that one up. Let's see. Okay. So here's another one. Lil Wayne. This is another one from Lil Wayne. It was a song called Ghoulish, I think. And him and that one rapper Pusha T were beefing. Everybody, Drake and all the guys were all doing shit. So he says in one of his songs, here's a lyric. He says, fuck a Pusha T and anybody that love him, his head up his ass, I'm going to have to headbutt him. So I was like listening, and I had to stop the song, and I'm like, did he just say like he was gonna go up in his ass with his in the same ass to headbutt him? Like he was gonna put his ass in there too, inside the same asshole, and he was gonna headbutt each other inside his big ass. He was gonna push up and push up, pushing the pusher. Or what was my man saying? He was gonna do the push pop. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting. That was an interesting lyric. He's gonna, hit that guy's heads up his ass, and he's gonna go headbutt him up in there. That's weird. Or how about, Notorious B.I.G., rest in peace, one of the GOATs, one of the GOAT MCs. Apparently he was good at doing some Spanglish, broken Spanish and English, type stuff. And he wasn't the best at it. It was one of his, best songs, one of the 10 Crack Commandments. And I always listen to the song and I always laugh with my cousins and shit. Because he says rule, not numero uno, not numero uno. He says rule nombre uno. So he says rule name one. So I just wanted to share that. Just thought that was funny in that song. So here's another weird lyric from the game. Since they wanted to fuck with me on that freestyle, saying the song that were freestyles were from the game, I thought it was funny because those were shitty songs, and they accredited them and they attributed them to you, just so you know. And I'm a fan of yours, so chill, you and your face tat. Um, Here's one of your crazy lyrics, by the way. It says, "It's kind of hard to imagine like Kanye West coming back from his fatal accident to be beat making and raping." And that's a weird, interesting lyric. It's kind of hard to imagine like Kanye West coming back from his fatal accident from beat making and raping. Interesting. Here's one from Cannabis. So I remember him and LL had a beef back in the day, and they was all rapping at each other, you know. And when they were beefing at each other, it was kind of funny. So Cannabis and LL were going back and forth and this and that. And he said that you might have more cash than me, but you ain't got the skills to eat a person's ass like me. We'll say that. You know what I'm saying? So he says you might get more cash than me, but you ain't got the skills to eat a person's ass like me. That was your lyric from Cannabis. And he was battling at somebody else like, "Oh yeah, well you can't do this better than me. You might be able to buy some things, but you can't do this better than me." So I thought that was really funny. And then I'll finish this last one with Will I Am. You know, the famous Will I Am. It was a song called The Hardest Ever. He says, "I'm going to go hard like a motherfucking boner." And that was pretty just, quick and to the point. Well, if you guys enjoyed this episode, hit me with a like and a subscription. Turn on a notification. I'm here every Wednesday and Saturday. And this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.